Alright, y'all, it's January the 4th, 2018, and y'all, we've already established that there are certain male stereotypes in Silicon Valley who are absolutely manipulating ladies and getting all sort of relations from them in Silicon Valley. Not only that, holding them down. In particular, we're starting to get an idea that it is very sexist in Silicon Valley. Of course, we're going to read further into this and see just how crazy it can get, because it really can. It gets a lot worse. All right, so let's go ahead and read on about how ladies are being specifically held down in the industry of tech in a very sexual way. All right, this is how the night goes down, and this is an article written by Emily Chang. She says, this is how the night goes down. According to those who have attended, guests arrive before dinner and are checked in by private security guards, right, obviously, who will turn you away if you're not on the list. So sometimes the evening is catered, but at the most intimate of gatherings, who knows what that even means, guests will cook dinner together. Something that they like to do. That way, they don't have to kick out the help after dessert. Basically, they want to be able to do all sort of sexual orgy things, and so they cook dinner together. I don't even know why they're eating dinner. That kind of, I don't know. That's what a lot of them do. Alcohol lubricates the conversation until after the final course, the drugs roll out. Obviously, some form of MDMA that everybody's aware of, ecstasy, Molly, or whatever kind of names you're going to give it. They're known for transforming relative strangers into extremely affectionate friends. All right, and it doesn't do it in reality; it just does it in people's drug-filled minds. All right. Is de rigueur, I don't know, some like French word, including Molly tablets that have been molded into the logos of some of the hottest tech companies. Some refer these parties as e-parties. And that's an interesting to note. The tech people, that for their sex orgy parties, they actually have tablets of ecstasy. Which I thought was illegal, but they have tablets of ecstasy pressed into their actual logos of their companies, meaning that there's pill makers who have the technology that they do that. I mean, they're very legitimate. Nobody's on the streets creating different pill shapes and stuff. You have machines and stuff for that. That's how they get it. I thought it was illegal, but I don't know. Anyways, they have e-parties, all right? Obviously, people get all on Molly or the Molly Cyrus, and they get on the E or whatever they're going to call it, ecstasy, MDMA, whatever. They get on it, and obviously they start to get to touching each other. And everybody knows about this. That's what MDMA does, all right? It lets down your inhibitions, all right? And I don't know if you're going to consider that a good or bad thing, but that's exactly what it does, and everybody knows. So that being said, I accidentally scrolled down, and I'm tapping away. See if I can scroll back to where it is we left off at, y'all. Dang, dude, I scrolled down a big, man, I scrolled down all the way. All right, we're back to where we started. This is Emily Chang saying, MDMA is a powerful and long-lasting drug whose 1-2 punch of euphoria and manic energy. These are pills that do specific things to human beings, all right? And they have all sort of pills that can do all sort of different things. And it's crazy, but, you know, they do have that. So the MDMA is powerful and long-lasting drug whose 1-2 punch delivers euphoria and then manic energy and can keep you rolling for 3 or 4 hours, all right? As dopamine fires, connections spark around the room, and normal inhibitions drop away. I mean, I'm just describing to you what everybody already knows, all right? But it's important that we discuss these little details. People start cuddling and making out, all right, in a situation that they would not typically do that. These aren't group orgies per se, but guests will break out into twosomes and threesomes or more. They may disappear into one of the venue's many rooms, or they might simply get down in the open, and we have all seen this on movies. It actually does happen, and it's happening today. All right, it does happen. It happens in the Vatican. Understand that. They may disappear into, like I said, into one of these rooms, so they may just pop out their wieners, vaginas, and start doing it in the open. Might suck each other off in the open, and that's what happens. All right, so night turns to day, and the group reconvenes for breakfast. It's like, dude, what is up with the people are so hungry and stuff? They're so doped up that they get hungry, I guess. It's like, dude, I don't know why in these orgies they're so concerned about eating, but they are. They really are. So they'll convene for breakfast, after which some have intercourse again. It's just sex and eating. Sex and eating, and as you can imagine, shitting. You had to shit at some point. So just sex, eating, and shitting is what they've been doing. And rolling around on mollies. My computer keeps scrolling in ways that I don't like it to do. Alright, so we're going to get back to where we left off at. Alright, we're there. These sex parties happen so often among the premier VC and founder crowd that it isn't a scandal or even really a secret. It happens a lot. You might as well say it happens weekly. Alright, but it's not really a scandal or a secret. I've been told it's a lifestyle choice, said Emily Chang. That's what she's been told. A lifestyle choice. Okay, this isn't Prohibition or the McCarthy era. People remind me it's Silicon Valley in the 21st century. Okay, no one has been forced to attend. See, this is what they want to stress. It is very progressive. It is very breaking the bounds of traditional society. It's freeing you from your chains sexually. Nobody is forced to attend. It's the sentiment that is given to us, and they're not hiding anything, not even if they're married or in a committed relationship. It's not committed, believe it or not. The marriage is null and void at that point, but people do it, and people think that they're getting away with something, or that they're breaking bounds. Every last thing that they're doing has been done before many, many, many times over. There's nothing new under the sun. There really isn't. Alright, so but anyways, they're just being discreet in the real world. These people, that's what they're doing. Many guests are invited as couples, husbands and wives, boyfriends and girlfriends, because open relationships are the new normal, according to people in Silicon Valley. And that might sound very all-inclusive to everybody. Might sound very, very adorable and cuddly and stuff. But, you know, open relationships, the new normal, and we're going to see where that leads to. In fact, people have seen where that leads to. All right, it is common knowledge. While some parties may be devoted primarily to drugs and sexual activity, others may boast just pockets of it. So what you're understanding is there are certain tech parties in Silicon Valley, no ladies at all. These are the ones where they're discussing little technical things with each other. All right. There's some parties with all sort of ladies all over the place. All right. That's where people are getting absolutely laid and sucked off. All right. Completely. That's the whole point. There's some parties where there'll be just like less ladies and stuff. It might look like a regular party to a normal person, but understand people are getting sucked off, and all sort of deals are happening. And you might not notice it. You might stumble across it. But like I said, you're invited to certain parties because of the fact that you're not ignorant to what goes on in the parties. So just to continue, in June 2017, one young woman, let's call her Jane Doe, I'd suggest that we do, received a paperless post invite for a party on the edge of the earth, in quotations, at the home of a wealthy venture capitalist. The invite requested glamazon adventurer, I mean, as far as dress code, safari chic, and jungle tribal attire. People are having wild parties. Anyways, it must look like that Busta Rhymes music video from way back in the day. That's what they're looking for. Ironically, the gathering was held just a week after sexual harassment allegations against Binary Capital co-founder Justin Callbeck had been reported. All right, and that's very significant. We're going to discuss that. real quick before we leave out. But that didn't seem to discourage certain guests from indulging in heavy petting out in the wide open. All right. This is very significant. We're going to drop off right here and discuss this. Now, I don't know who Justin Caldbeck is. Never heard of him. Never heard of Binary Capital, whatever. But apparently, the co-founder of Binary Capital, Mr. Justin Caldbeck, had been reported, he had been alleged to have had sexual harassment allegations against him. Right? You might say that somebody found his sexual advances to be inappropriate and perhaps unacceptable to the point of being illegal, telling the police about it. They thought it was that inappropriate for Mr. Justin Caldbeck to have allegedly done these things. I know nothing about this situation. All right. So just a week after that, in the very same area, people are, what they're doing is volunteering themselves into a situation, into these parties. Like I said, there's many very different parties, to come across all sort of sexual interaction that they may or may not approve of. But however, they're in this situation already. You see what I'm getting at? And they keep doing it. So at one of these very same sexual parties, orgies, what I'm saying is hypothetically, and I'm sure it happens all the time, you might be at a party that as a young, impressionable young person, you go to this party and you have no idea what's going on. You don't know that Silicon Valley is filled up with these kind of people. You never heard of it. All right, you're just going there thinking, oh, I'm going to meet all sort of people who know cool technology things. No, that's not the case. You're being invited for different reasons, but the big reason, if you're a young lady, is to get turned out, dude. That is exactly what's going to happen. You're going to get just as much money as someone allows you to have. All right, and that's what's happening. Somehow, in one of these scenarios, there is a lady, or maybe a series of ladies, who have experienced some sort of behavior that's inappropriate coming from a Justin Caldbeck. All right. However, what is not acknowledged yet in the scenario, what we're starting to understand is everything that is occurring in this scenario, in these scenarios in Silicon Valley, it damn well is unnatural, would not be happening if it wasn't for money. Not that I'm hating. I don't really care who wants to go screw who. It doesn't matter to me. Go ahead and do it. But the thing is, it is completely unnatural. Simply because we got to talk about that specific stereotypical male in Silicon Valley. He's very effeminate. He's always talking about how the rest of the country is keeping women down. Meanwhile, he has so much money that he's living out all his fantasies. He's getting ladies to do all sort of different various things that in nature he wouldn't be able to get them to do. All right. So you might describe every single act going on as kind of inappropriate, and we're going to dive further into it. There's going to be people in the article giving very spot on perspectives at how women are absolutely being put in a hurt locker in this industry. You don't go up, you don't climb up no ladder. You need to forget about that. You get turned out sexually, and whatever little bit of money, little change we want to throw at you, that's what's going to happen. That is Silicon Valley all day. That is what it is. And we're about to go ahead and read more of this article because, like I said, it just does get worse and worse until the end. It is going to get, it's bad, it's going to get worse. We're balls deep in the tribulation. It's January the 4th, 2017. We're about to read a little bit more, a little bit later.